Hello everyone, my name is Chandana and I want to talk to you about why smart charging and vehicle to grid integration is important in the context of India. When I think of an EV in comparison with an ICE vehicle, it is a very smart vehicle in itself because a lot of digital technologies are integrated with it. There's a lot of electronics that help in managing the battery charging and discharging. Apart from that, there are a lot of technologies that are added which help in geo-navigation of the vehicle and even in autonomous driving. And when I think of charging also, it's not just like I plug the vehicle and it starts charging. When I want to go and charge at a public charging station, there is a lot of authentication element, a lot of communication technology associated with that. So what I want to say is like EVs and its charger is inherently a smart thing. But what we talk about in the context of smart charging is the ability for somebody to manage the EV charging. So what you need for that, you need a signal and you have to be able to respond to a signal. Now the second aspect is there has to be a control element. This can be either a control on the charging time or a control on the charging power of the vehicle. And the third element, which is often an ignored element, is the consumer behavior into it. The consumer has to take the decision to either charge or discharge or stop charging or stop discharging of this vehicle. So another crux of things where the smart charging fits in is when you actually have a reason to do this. So if I'm charging my vehicle and there is no impact on the grid, then we are very good. There is no need for a smarter control to come in. But imagine a situation when I have an EV and I have reached my home and I have started all the appliances at my home and also started charging off my vehicle. Now this creates a local problem at my house because my house demand has increased by a very high amount now. If all the people in my community start doing it, then I have created a problem to the grid. So hence, in this situation, what I need to do is be very rational about it. I have more than 8 hours at night. I don't need 8 hours to charge my vehicle. In that case, I can just delay the charging of that vehicle for a little bit. I can start the charging of the vehicle, late at night when I'm off to sleep. And there is not much demand and my vehicle is getting charged. It's a very simple thing that actually you can do with just a price signal. If let's say Discom takes a decision that if you charge your EVs from 6 to 10 p.m. at your houses, it is going to cost you more. And if you charge at night, it is going to cost you less. Of course, the consumer, without too much of a control element, can take a decision that yes, I need to move my charging towards the night. So that's a simpler example. Another example could be in the case of a parking space. A parking space where there are a large number of cars and every car wants to charge. If every car is going to charge at the same time, then in the parking lot and the building associated with it, I am going to cause a high amount of demand increase. So I have to rationalize it somehow, right? I have to stagger the charging of vehicles in such a situation that yes, every car gets charged, but I am not exceeding a predetermined value of demand at the same time. Now in the building also, the building demand is not a constant demand. The building demand could be high during the afternoon and it could wane off during the evening, or even on typical days there could be a difference. So how I would want to plan my EV charging is in a smarter way that I can manage the total building demand and the EV charging demand at the same time. So what you're trying to do is, you're trying to ensure all vehicles are getting charged. At the same time, you don't want to cause a problem in the building. In the smart charging problem, if you see, the grid is not a consideration, your boundary is actually drawn at the building level. But there are definite cases where the EV is a big consideration for the grid itself. Think of Delhi. Delhi is going to have a large amount of buses. All the buses are going to be charged at night. Imagine if this is happening on a summer day when there is a very high demand in Delhi, especially because we're using a lot of air conditioners and the buses are also getting charged. Now every bus has a 50 kilowatt or higher charger, and every depot is going to cost a very high amount of load. So what you have to do is, you still have 8 hours at night, you only need 4 hours to charge a bus, and the buses could be, some bus batteries could be fully depleted, others might not be. So you create a mechanism in which you ensure all buses are charged, and you stagger the charging in such a way that you minimize the grid impact. If on a particular day there is a very high demand on the grid, and the grid operator asks you, hey, can you reduce your load? You take that call, yes, I can reduce the load. That is as much as smart charging is. And sometimes when I say reduce the load, it is not between on and off. It is actually about reducing the current that I am using. So you don't really have to shut off your power completely. What you are doing is, you are reducing the power and increasing the time of charging. So that also works in case of smart charging.